What am I doing inside this giant O? Oh, let me tell you, the entire middle of Olympic High School has been reborn, and I'm going to take you on a tour on this week's Beat Blast. Stay tuned. Welcome back to this edition of the Beat Blast, sponsored by the Admiral Theater. Story number 1 today, I'm on the second floor overlooking the Agora inside the brand new 86,000 square foot addition here at Olympic High School.
So the whole middle part of the school got demolished. It was just all dirt last year, and we had to build from the ground up.
Olympic High School was built 40 years ago and has started to show its age. But in a big modernizing project, Central Kitsap School District took out a chunk of its middle and installed in its place 86,000 square feet of new and expanded common area, state-of-the-art classrooms, a new library, and performing arts center. It's all part of a massive overhaul to Central Kitsap's secondary schools, including renovations at Klahowya Secondary School and Olympic, and construction of a new campus for Central Kitsap High School and Middle School. The money is possible from a $220 million bond measure approved by voters in 2016.
We have lunch in this beautiful Agora. It's just fantastic. There's so much space, a happy environment to be in and take a break from all this education.
Cool. Story number 2, the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday rejected an appeal by Joe Kennedy to come before the court to argue his right to pray after football games. However, his lawyers say that the case will be returning to district court for more argument. A U.S. Supreme Court ruling Tuesday dealt a setback to Joe Kennedy, the former Bremerton High School assistant football coach who says he was wrongfully terminated for praying on the 50-yard line after games. But Justice Samuel Alito, joined by Justices Thomas, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, issued a lengthy statement saying the lower court's justification for denying Kennedy's case raised issues regarding the free speech rights of public school teachers that were, quote, troubling and may justify review in the future. A separate part of Kennedy's suit against the district, the question of whether his religious rights were violated, now goes back to U.S. District Court for consideration. Story number 3, the USS Carl Vinson came into Bremerton on Sunday night, entering the waters of Sinclair Inlet that it had not seen since 2005. It was homeported here from the late 90s to 2005 and returns here now for a lengthy overhaul in the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. The overhaul at the shipyard will include lots of structural refurbishments, including restoring the warship's hull, propellers, shafts, rudders, and myriad tanks. Crew quarters will also be upgraded. The ship's combat systems will also be enhanced. The Vinson is set to become the first aircraft carrier in the Navy to deploy with a squadron of F-35C Lightning II Joint Strike Fighters as part of its full air wing complement. The Vinson's number 70 now joins the USS Nimitz number 68 as homeported here in Bremerton. Story number 4, a Bremerton couple remodeling their home found some buried treasure underneath their floor. Some old journals, photo negatives, and letters that belonged to people who owned the home in years past. Through a Facebook community group, they were able to locate descendants of that family and have a touching reunification.
I was really curious, and then when I opened it and saw the date, I was just so impressed, and I wanted to find the person.
You know, I heard you traveled to Bend, Oregon. How'd it go? Are things still the same? I heard you got a watch. I'm happy for you. Just a general, I guess text message of the day that we would send to our siblings. It was really exciting. I was excited because it was a letter from my grandma, who I never met. My grandma died 20 years before I was born. It was exciting for my mom to see this letter that her mom had written before she had even been born.
Finally, story number 5 today, sponsored by Silver City Brewery Tap Room. First off, before the weekend, if you want to come check out the new digs here at Olympic High School at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, school officials will throw open the doors for you to see. For the weekend, here's 2 cultural Kitsap icons for you to try out if you dare. Families, try your hand at Navy knots in a class from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Puget Sound Navy Museum near the ferry terminal in Bremerton. The event is free of charge. Next up, have you had your lutefisk yet? Fill up your plate at the Sons of Norway in Paulsbo from noon to 4 p.m. Saturday. A full dinner is $25 for adult, and kids under 10 eat for $10. That's our show for this week. Thanks for watching the Beat Blast. Special thanks to our sponsors, and most especially to those of you who subscribe to the Kitsap Sun. We could not do this without you. See you next week.